You and I were blessed with doing Leeds, and I think that was about -2, wasn't it?
So it's wonderful. I've got all wrapped up. And
positively tropical compared
Jay had
to
his
what we've been
shorts
used
on.
to. It is tropical compared to what we've been used to in recent games. But listen, before we get into the team, and it is a very strong starting 11 tonight, just to chat about the FA Cup third round in general, because it's the romance of this competition is still very much alive, isn't it, Tomo?
I would like to think so, Beck. It's meant so much. Obviously, I'm a lot older than you guys, and back in the 60s, the 70s, our first FA Cup final, 1965, still one of my greatest ever memories of all what I did. And yet, that was the FA Cup. And to play in it in 1974, just the fact of, I can remember waking up, having me breakfast and rushing back to my room, and Brian Hall, God bless him, said, "Where you going, Tomo?" I said, "The road to Wembley's on the telly upstairs." He said, "You're playing in it in a couple of hours." And I went, "I always watch you." That's what it means to people, and even as a player, it was so much. It's maybe a bit diluted now, but it's still, when it comes round and you see some of the results over the weekend, it's still special.
Yeah, we certainly hope we don't have a giant killing here tonight, Jay, but in terms of just what it means, it does still have that magic about it, doesn't it, this round?
Yeah, like, listen, Tom was obviously talking about the history there of when he was a lot younger, but even when, like, you know, we were coming through, and you know, I was born in the 80s, but then coming through the academy, like, the biggest competition for us is the FA Youth Cup. You know, it's a smaller version, but that is the big competition that we get involved in. So it gives you a little bit of a taste, an example of what the FA Cup that you're going into. So when you do that one, then going into the first team, the FA Cup is one of the biggest competitions I've been around the world, not just in England, but everywhere. So even when I came through and I was itching to play in the FA Cup, whether it be a third round tie or a fourth round tie, I was very lucky to go on and play in an FA Cup final, which we sadly lost, but it was an unbelievable occasion, and it's an unbelievable competition that even now is an opportunity for all the players to go and showcase what they're about.
Yeah, we're seeing the Liverpool squad arriving here at Anfield for tonight's game. It is a very strong team, Tomo, which we'll get into in detail in just a moment, but just as an overall outlet, given the way the season has gone so far, is more importance placed on this competition, do you think, as a result of that?
I do think there's more importance to it now, and we look back listening to the team the way it is tonight. I go back to the Crystal Palace game in the Carabao Cup, a young team on the pitch, young team on the bench. It didn't seem that was Liverpool. It's lovely to see what the boss has done with it today, because it's important for people who come to this stadium and watch the games. So I think it is vital that we show the right attitude, and I just think I'm just thinking when you were going then, even these players, the foreign players, it's one of the biggest games in their calendar was the English FA Cup final. So for them to be able to maybe, hopefully in the future, play in one.
Yeah, it's special all round, isn't it? I can tell you actually the draw has been made for the fourth round. If we get through tonight, Jane, we hope we do, is Brighton here at Anfield in the fourth round. So tough in the sense it's another Premier League team, but obviously always nice to have a home draw too.
You're delighted you're at home. Brighton have obviously gone and had a fantastic result away at Manchester United and beat them. They are a team that on their day are very effective. You know, he's got them playing really good stuff, but then they're also a team that, you know, the form does dip quite up and down. So let's hope the fingers crossed first and foremost we get through tonight.
I was just going to say, we've got to get tonight out of the way first.
And then obviously we'll cross that one when it comes to it. But tonight's going to be a little bit of a difficult one because all pressure's on Liverpool, so Liverpool have to step up and be ready for it.
Well, let's bring it back to tonight, Tomo, because it is pretty much a full-strength side that Arne Slot has gone with, and a very strong bench as well. Are you pleased to see such strength?
I am pleased to see, but I actually thought earlier on in the day, I'm thinking what's going to happen, and if I'd have had half a strong team and half of youngsters, but had a good bench, I think that would fill me full of hope, and that's given it the sort of the credit that this tournament deserves. So for the boss to go this strong surprises me a little bit. Dominic Szoboszlai, I think, oh my goodness, the energy levels he showed against Arsenal I was in wonderment. I thought this guy he's Joris O'Bunny, and he's playing tonight. I thought he might have got a rest, and it's Ryan Gravenberch. So all in all, I'm delighted because this place is going to be packed again, and it'll be nice to see such a strong side out.
Yeah, lots of kids here tonight who want to see some of their heroes as well on the pitch, Jay. Someone who will have fresh legs and will be raring to go is Rio Engamoa. Was in the third round last season, of course, that he made his debut. At the age of 16 years, 135 days. He was then the youngest player ever to start a game for Liverpool. The youngest ever as well, of course, to appear in the FA Cup as well. He will be itching to get on that pitch and make an impression.
Yeah, of course he will. And do you know what? Yesterday he was very calm. He obviously found out a little bit earlier than everybody else did, but he was more excited than anything else. He knows that he's had to wait and bide his time. The results that have been going for Liverpool over recent weeks haven't probably given the manager or him a time to get on the field and try and showcase what he's about. There have been difficult moments in games where the manager's trusted a little bit more experienced players to get them final minutes in games, i.e. Fede Chiesa in options. But tonight is an opportunity for him to showcase what he's about, and for me, I just hope he sticks to his game. The Rio that I know is the Rio that gets the ball and gets at the defender straight away. He wants to combine with the front men, he wants to take him on, he wants to get to the byline. I wouldn't want to see the Rio that wants to come back and combine inside all the time. I want him to go and express himself and just enjoy playing the game.
Don't you think, Jay, people wanted to see him more, but it's so hard to play as such a young player in a team, and we've all seen it's been difficult times for them.
Yeah,
so to try and blood him in games like that, I think would be a bit unfair. I think the boss has handled him so well and given him his game time when it needs.
I also think it's probably come from a point of view where he's in a little bit of a maturation where he's still obviously growing. The fitness coach Ruben is a big influence on what goes on in the training sessions. The minutes. You got to remember as well that Rio is still only 17, just turned 17 years old. His weekly programme looks completely different to the likes of the Virgil van Dijks, the Robertsons. He's he gets little minutes here and there. He has days on where he's off feet. So the club are trying to look after him for long term. As much as the fans want to see him every single week, get thrown in. Like Tomo said, there's moments in games where it's probably difficult to throw a young lad in.
Yeah.
As much as the fans want to see him, the step overs and a bit of flair.
When there's pressure on results.
Yeah, of course. He's and like I said before, he's probably gone. Unfortunately, it's probably unfair on him. So throwing in the more experienced boys, there's probably less pressure on them because they probably renowned. They should be able to go and handle it. So I agree with Tomo. I think the manager's handled it unbelievably well, and the first opportunities he's had really to give him a start, he's given him tonight. Okay,
we're looking forward to seeing him tonight. Rio Engamoa starting tonight against Barnsley. So opportunity knocks for Liverpool this evening. Is a big night too, though, for their opposition. Let's head back over to the main stand now. Peter McDowell's been catching up with a couple of gents who will be hoping for a Barnsley victory tonight, Pete.
Yeah, thanks, Beck. I thought it'd be quite useful for us to get a bit of an insight on the opposition. Adi Moses, former Barnsley player, Adam Oxley from BBC Radio Sheffield. They watch Barnsley week in, week out, and forgive Adi Moses for probably looking a bit dewy-eyed here because he's thinking about 1997 when Barnsley came here and won. Can you still remember the noise?
We can. I remember it, obviously, that season. Barnsley's only year in the Premier League, and we'd done unbelievably well to get up the year before. But once you're here and coming to grounds like this and all the big teams and what have you, it's brilliant getting up, but it's no holiday getting battered every week and all like that. And to be fair, that season we did come here and we got a result. So yeah, we rode our luck on the day. But I remember it fondly. I do remember it really well, and something I still really proud of to this day, really.
You had an easy job on the day. You were marking one of Europe's top talents at the time, Steve McMahon, but they had a good team out. Michael Owen played that day as well.
He did, yeah. Obviously I was a defender, so Karl-Heinz Riedler I remember playing that day as well. Redknapp, Patrick Berger. I was talking about it on the car on the way over, but what happened? Well, I'm not kind of selling myself here a little bit, but I was quite quick back in the day. And Danny Wilson, the old Barnsley manager, he used to, whenever we, in that Prem season, if we played somebody like a Liverpool or that, he used to pull me on a Thursday and say, I've got a job for you on Saturday. And I used to be walking down corridor to go see him. And I think, who am I man marking on Saturday? Who am I man? And that day here, it was Steve McManaman. And obviously, unbelievable player and that, and I'm thinking, great, but the one thing I do remember about him, he could run all day, couldn't he, with his physique, that's how he were, and I'm just chasing him around. I was absolutely shattered by the time we come off the pitch, and he was probably looking, it was always a bit embarrassing, man marking someone, because you feel like they're looking at you thinking, come on, go to the side of the pitch or something like that, but he was respectful at the end. I do remember him saying well done, and so did Redknapp and that, and really top guys, and yeah, like I say, real fond memories of that day.
I'm sure a few of the Barnsley lads will have a bit in common with that tonight. But can you formulate a case with the struggles, relatively speaking, that Liverpool have gone through for Barnsley to come here and maybe spark an upset tonight?
Let's be honest, probably not. But after seeing what Macclesfield did at the weekend, I think that gives everyone a bit of hope. We had one yesterday in our part of the world where Mansfield went to Sheffield United and won 4-3. Look, you never know. Barnsley will obviously have to keep it tight tonight. They'll try and hit a bit on the counter, you'd imagine. They're up and down under Conor Hourihane. He, of course, is no stranger to the Premier League, Republic of Ireland international, so hopefully a little bit of his star quality we'll be able to pass on. But there's some great stories in the line. You know, Josh Earl, he's a Barnsley defender. His whole family are Liverpool fans. He's been a Liverpool fan since he was a young boy. You've got Adam Phillips and Vimal Yoganathan that came through the academy here. So there's some lovely stories. But ultimately, a lot of things are going to have to go right tonight, aren't they? If Barnsley are going to go away with anything, even a narrow defeat would probably be a good night for Barnsley here.
17th in the domestic league at the moment. Will they change the way they play against Liverpool? I mean, it's been the burden all season for Liverpool, playing against low blocks, playing against five at the back. But from what I've looked at, it tends to be four. Will they go with that again tonight?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't go with four, because that's the way that Connor's wanted to play since he came in back end of last season. They do like to try and play football. You know, they've got some really exciting young players in there. Patrick Kelly, Reyes Cleary, people that Liverpool fans may well want to look out for tonight if they play. They'll give it a go. You know, I don't think some clubs may well come here and just put 10 men and a keeper behind the ball. I don't think they'll do that. But their defensive record is atrocious. They've only kept a couple of clean sheets all season. That would be the worry. If they tried to do that they've not proven that they can do that. So the best form of defence may well be attack at times tonight.
And in terms of the man they have up front, and there's lots to talk about him potentially being sold on at the moment, but someone that's, I think, already got 14 goals in League One this season, has he got a chance maybe to put a scare on Liverpool's back four tonight?
Yeah, you know, like Adam just said, you just never know on nights like this. I think we covered Manchester United game last season, didn't we, in the Cup, where we went there, and the disappointing thing was for myself that we went there and we kind of just, you got the impression that we were just happy to get can we not concede too many goals against us type thing. And I really hope that ain't the case tonight. I hope we have a go. You know, my lads are here, they're Barnsley fans, come across with me. One of us at university, he's took the day off and he's come here, so looking forward to it. And the thing that they said, if we can just get a goal, it's something for us to cheer and what have you. And like I say, really, listen, Barnsley fans, we're a mining community. That's what we're historically about. What Barnsley fans want to see is lads putting a shift in, you know, not just kind of thinking we're coming here and look at this at Liverpool. End of the day, we want to have a go. Just go and have a right good go. You know, we know the opposition's a lot better than we are, clearly, but that's what Barnsley fans want to see tonight, and they just don't want to come here and think, well, you know, we've got beat 3 or 4-0 and we didn't really have a go. We just tried to keep the numbers down a little bit. So that's what we're after tonight.
It's been proven already this weekend that it can be done. AD Adam, thank you very much for your time, and back to you guys pitchside.
Fight and talk there from the lads, wasn't it? Right, we're about 45 minutes away from kick-off here at Anfield when Steve Hunter will be talking you through all the action from Liverpool versus Barnsley. And we can cross live to Steve right now up on the main stand gantry. Steve.
Thank you so much, Becky. Good evening, everybody. FA Cup fever in the air at Anfield. It's always a very special competition, this, isn't it? We will never forget 1965. Ian St John, Roger Hunt, Jerry Byrne with his broken collarbone setting up the winner as well at Wembley. Absolute magical occasion that, and the 8 times winners, Liverpool, of course. Looking forward to this one here tonight, as always. Former Red Neil Mellor will be joining us for live match commentary tonight. Well, we're going to show you some footage now. We're going to take you back to 2022. It was the last time that Liverpool won the FA Cup under Jurgen Klopp. Remember the Greek Scouser, Kostas Tsimikas, slotting that winning penalty in the final. And we beat Shrewsbury 4-1 in the FA Cup third round. The Shrews actually took a 1-0 lead, but then Cade Gordon, who's suffering with a little injury at the moment, scored a great goal to make it 1-1. And then Fabinho was going through a real purple patch, wasn't he, in front of goal, slotted a penalty. Bobby Firmino on the mark, and then Fabinho again in stoppage time scored. Now a little quiz question for you folks. Can you remember who led the line for Liverpool at the start of that game? And an academy product called Max Waltman. Jake Spearing will remember Maxie. He made his first start. Tyler Morton also played. Tyler doing brilliantly in League One in France, of course. Max Waldman, he's now at National League North team Macclesfield after a spell at Oxford. And Max, would you believe, was an unused substitute in their FA Cup win over Crystal Palace at the weekend. So it's especially nice, isn't it, to see academy lads who may not make the grade here full time go on to do well. Buzzing. Adam Phillips, I used to love Adam when he played for Liverpool, playing for Barnsley tonight.